This is a short video about a wok that my son found a few years back from an employer that he worked for. Threw it out into the trash because it was beat up and burned up and kind of not really usable for the restaurant anymore. And he brought it home and sat in the garage, and it sat there for a while. And I would go out there every once in a while and see that huge wok sitting there in the garage, and I'd think to myself, what in the world am I going to do with this thing? Now, I love Chinese food, and I know y'all do too. So here's what I did. I said, I'm going to fix this wok up. And knowing a little bit about woks, and not a whole lot, but just enough that back in the day, the Chinese used to pound these things out of metal with a hammer. And they nowadays everything's made on a machine, and it's nice and uniform and everything, and formed with machines. But back then they hammered them all with a hammer, and so the surface of the inside of the wok was not always totally smooth. It was kind of, hammered, dinged up, and pounded out. And so that's what I did. I have a body work hammer that's made for pounding on metal, and took a bucking bar, and I went in the garage one day and I pounded all the flat spots and dings and dents out of that thing, pounded it all nice and pretty smooth, and then it was all rusted up, so I sanded it out and took some steel wool and cleaned that thing all out. And then this what you see here is G3, my son. He's helping me fix this wok up so we can start cooking it. And what we did here was we seasoned the wok. And we seasoned the wok over a turkey fryer that I had. Now, this turkey fryer is not really suitable for wok cooking, and I'll explain that in a second. But basically, it was good enough for a test trial run. And we just put some oil in the wok. We tried to heat evenly around the bottom and the sides, even temperature, and brought it up to where that oil would smoke when it got on that metal. And then first thing we did was we cut up an onion, and we fried the onion up, kind of helped season it, get it ready to fry a meal in. And then we sat back and we decided the first thing we wanted to cook in it was Kung Pao chicken. And so we got all the ingredients here laying on the table for Kung Pao chicken, and we went to work. So the problem with the turkey fryer is that the burner in the center of it is made for concentrated heat at the bottom of the turkey fryer pan. It doesn't fan the flames out broad enough to work with something like this wok. So you need a different type of burner. The little setup down there is all right, the stand and everything, but the burner's just not adequate. You need one that's going to disperse the flames wider and kind of come up the sides of the wok a little bit, and that way things won't sit in the bottom and burn. And this is kind of a problem that we were having here. So the first thing we did was we took this chicken, and it had been marinating in some sauce, and had some stuff on it, and we fried that in the oil there. But then I don't like to do that. See, they had us coat this with cornstarch, and what happens is that's all stuck to the. So after cleaning out the wok, this is step number 2. We were roasting the peanuts, and then we realized those peanuts were cooking pretty fast, so we were throwing in some of the harder vegetables, the carrots, the onions. And this is my son Gary, G3. We call him G3, and here he is being the chef, and he was excited, just loved doing this. And so after we throw it, we're adding in all the ingredients and we're frying it up. I see some of those peanuts look like they're getting a little toasty. Other than that, everything turned out really well. So we fried and woked up things a little bit here, and added the sauce at the end, and only takes a few minutes to make this whole meal. So as Gary stirs, I'm reaching for the chicken to add back into the rest of everything else, and then we just kind of mix it up, let it sizzle a little bit. Let it all come together. So now it's about ready to get off the fire and put it on a serving dish. And there it is, coming out of that gigantic wok. And we had fun with it, putting it on our plates and just kind of getting ready to eat things here. It didn't look like a whole lot of stuff in that huge wok, but then when you get it on a plate and stuff, you could see that was a pretty good size amount of food in that wok. That it's just the wok was so big and it looks like you got next to nothing in. And I sold this wok when we moved from Valdosta, and I regretted it ever since. I love that big huge wok.